calling on the aid of the unseen forces around you. Hi, I'm Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is On the Wings of Your Mind. And so today we continue our conversation or discussion about the unseen forces around you and how they are there to help you. Now, the next logical step in this conversation, I would say, is that if they're there to help, how do you go about calling on the aid of the unseen forces around you? Of course, those who are grounded in an organized religion will automatically and immediately turn to prayer, and they would be correct in that move. Prayer is a powerful tool in the calling of assistance from the unseen forces. That's because we always have relegated those unseen forces to the realm of religion, to the spiritual, which is a rather stupid approach considering that they don't limit themselves to just the spiritual when they're working for us. They cover all aspects of our lives. So trying to address them only through the auspices of the church is a rather narrow approach. We instead should look at them as manifestations, as we are, of infinite intelligence. We're individualized expressions of infinite intelligence, and they are manifestations of infinite intelligence. Infinite intelligence is overall, through all, and over all. And they are channeling the power of infinite intelligence to more specifically meet our personal needs, our individual needs. So they're taking that energy and bringing it down into a focal point for us in order for us to better utilize the powers that are available to us as individualized expressions. So these beings, these unseen forces include angels and spirit guides and other ascended beings at various levels of the power structure who have been tasked with the responsibility of assisting us individually and directly in our own little spheres of activity and interest. Please click on the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already done so, please choose to subscribe. I would love to hear from you, so please, if you have thoughts, comments, or suggestions, put them in the chat box on the right side of the screen, and I look forward to responding to you. So let's get into the specifics of this tool called prayer. What is prayer? Well, prayer is an invocation, according to Wikipedia, or a call out, or act that seeks to activate a rapport with an object of worship through deliberate communication. In the narrow sense, the term refers to an act of supplication or intercession directed toward a deity or a deified ancestor. And by deified ancestor, we mean like the indigenous peoples are always referring to the old ones or the ancient ones. Catholics call them saints. So it is these people who are, or beings who have ascended beyond the physical and are there waiting to help us out. But more generally, the prayer can be used for various purposes, for thanksgiving, for praise. It's a form of, it can be used as a form of meditation. Some who are in the magical will use charms or spells, but they all come under the headings of prayer. So basically, prayer is a deliberate attempt to connect with a spiritual entity to praise or to thank or to ask for assistance. Now, prayer is most powerful when it is practiced repeatedly in the form of a habit. That's because when you pray, you activate certain processes within your consciousness, your brain and your heart. And if you do it on a regular basis, a cumulative effect begins to build, and the effect of the process is heightened. So it's sort of like a muscle that gets stronger with exercise. The more you pray, the better you pray, the more power is generated through your prayer, because all of your systems are generally acclimating themselves to the act of prayer. Now, there are those who don't indulge in prayer on a regular basis, but turn to it only in cases of emergency. The problem with doing that, with that energy is being transmitted when you're praying only in an emergency setting, is that when you're using it only in an emergency setting, there's generally a lot of other factors involved. There's fear and there's neediness, images of lack. So there's a lot of stuff that's coming into play that can actually debilitate the action of the prayer, that can drain from it through the negative aspects. So praying only in emergency is not as effective as praying on a regular basis and building up the cumulative effect of that prayer. So, prayer as a habit is very powerful. Prayer as an emergency, yes, it can work. There is the element of sincerity. You are really sincere when you're praying in an emergency. So that would give us the air of faith. By praying in an emergency, that indicates that you are actually believing that you can get some assistance through that mechanism. So faith is the key to that. Remember we talked yesterday or the day before yesterday about the faith that exists in the mustard seed. So if you got a little faith, you can empower your prayer. So, prayer, regular basis, making it a habit. What should you pray for? The most powerful prayer is for general peace and well-being rather than for a specific goal. Again, we're talking about the cumulative effect here. That is, building up the energy of your prayer through repetition, like exercise. But when you do it on a specific, that is, praying for a job or praying for a specific outcome, then you lose some of the power in it. I'm referring to an article entitled Directed versus Non-Directed Prayer by Jerry Kivanicki. Now, he describes an experiment involving garden vegetables. He says one group of plants was giving directed prayer. That is, there was the people doing the prayer who had come together to do this experiment aimed a prayer specifically for large growth and output from each plant. Specific outcome. Another group came in to a garden, and these are gardens that are set up next to each other, and they were asking for generally blessing of the garden, peace enfolding, love, etc. Not a specific goal, but just an overall effect of peace, love, and energy. And then there was a third group that was given no prayer at all. Now, all the other factors in this experiment were alike. That is, the sunlight, the water, the soil conditions, because they were pretty much next to each other. So the results were that the biggest plants were from the group that was giving a non-directed prayer, a prayer for love and peace and abundance, etc. in general. This all-encompassing prayer produced the most productive plants, the biggest plants, the most healthy, the healthiest plants. The one that came in next was the directed prayer. They were much bigger and stronger and more productive than the ones who did not receive prayer, but they were not as big and strong and productive as the ones who received the non-directed prayer. So one thing I take from this is that prayer is not a shopping list. These unseen forces are not here to satisfy your particular wants and needs and desires. I want that and I want that, and give me a little of that as well. No, they're not here for that. If you pray for only what you want, then you're having a limited effect. And the reason why you're having a limited effect, I suspect, is because when you use it in a selfish way, the power of the energy that is generated is only that of you, only your energy. You know, we all have a certain amount of energy because we are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And so when you pray for only your particular needs, then it's pretty much up to you. It's pretty much your channeling of your energy. But when you back off of that, then you get stronger. You get a more powerful prayer, because the assistance of the angels and the guides and the other entities only comes into play when the work that is being done is not only for the benefit of the one doing the praying, but for the benefit of others around them, for the benefit of more than just the prayer. So asking for a specific outcome in your life may be less effective than praying for your general well-being, than for your highest and best good, when you're asking to be guided and assisted in ways that you may not be even aware of. So for your general and best good, they will take care of all the unseen elements as well. Whereas if you're just focusing on what I want, then you are actually limiting yourself and leaving out all the other things that might be involved. Remember, we can't see everything that's going on. So the key here, I think, is to pray for general well-being, pray for your peace, pray for your love, pray for health, pray for success, not just what you want. But if you want to pray for what you want, if you must pray for what you want, I suggest adding a line to the end of that prayer saying this or something better. By saying this or something better, what you're doing is you're expanding, you're opening up the field of play so that the unseen forces can work on other things as well that are important or key to that specific desire or request. This or something better. So basically, the activity of prayer, the habit of praying to give thanks for your gifts, to request a general state of well-being and peace for your highest good, will build up an energy field around you that will serve you in your life in a very positive way by attracting situations and circumstances that are positive, that assist you in living your best life. So you're building up, by this habit, you're building up an aura of well-being. You're building up an aura of positive attraction. So actually the advantage in doing it that way is that you're not having to deal with specific situations. You're taking care of everything. Now, another way to build connection with the unseen forces is through meditation. Now, meditation is a form of prayer, but a little different. It's quieter. It's more receptive. Prayer is out putting out, whereas meditation is bringing in. And one form of meditation that I'm really asking you to pay attention to is that focus on activating the third eye, right here in the middle of the forehead. Now, the reason I'm saying activate the third eye, because it's one of the 7 main chakras. If you remember, the chakra is an energy center of the body, and it is described as being in the center of the forehead. But in many spiritual teachings, I'm sure you've heard the term third eye mentioned in various situations. But the third eye is your direct connection to higher consciousness. It is believed that the third eye is powered by the pineal gland. Now, the pineal gland is a little tiny gland, endocrine gland inside the brain, right near the center of the brain, between the two hemispheres, tucked in a groove where the two halves of the thalamus meet. Now, the pineal gland produces melatonin, and melatonin is a hormone that modulates our sleep patterns and affects our dreaming and our psychic abilities, our intuition. And the shape of the pineal gland is looks like a little pine cone, which is why I got his name, Pineal. So a properly functioning pineal gland can enhance your intuition, increase your imagination, increase your creativity, empower your dreaming activities, and it will really empower your ability to visualize. And when you visualize, you increase your ability to manifest. Because if you can see it, you can happen. You can make it happen much more easily. So the pineal gland is very important for that. The problem is the pineal gland of most Americans, or many Americans, is not functioning properly because it's calcified. And what I mean by calcified is that deposits are building up around the gland and sort of encasing it in a hard shell to eventually shut it down. And that buildup is called calcification. And the primary cause of calcification are the chemical family known as aldehydes. And this includes fluoride, chlorine, bromide. And fluoride is the most common calcifier because it's part of our dietary intake. Fluoride's in our toothpaste, fluoride's in all our water. And you know, the justification for using fluoride is it's supposed to slow down, reduce tooth decay. But fluoride is also magnetically attracted to the pineal gland, more so than any other part of the body. It collects around the pineal gland. It's forming these calcium phosphate crystals that build up, and when they accumulate, they begin to lock the pineal gland inside a hard shell to render it inactive. Now, it's estimated that maybe 40% of Americans have a calcified pineal gland, which is not good news. One way to strengthen the function of the pineal gland, to begin to break through that calcification, is where meditation comes in. As you meditate, imagine that the center of your brain is breaking that shell. Imagine that your third eye is being awakened through the pineal gland. So when you close your eyes, look up to the mental screen behind your forehead. That is a mental screen, and if you look up, you won't see anything at first necessarily, but get into the habit of looking up into that inner screen, and eventually, as your pineal gland is forced to be activated, it will begin to feed images to that mental screen. And in feeding images to that mental screen, it's going to enhance your ability to visualize. It's going to improve your ability to have dreams and to remember those dreams, and maybe even to control the dreams and lucid dreamings. So controlling that inner vision becomes key when you are working on meditating and activating your pineal gland. So if you can get it to starting up again, you can become very empowered. And by turning on your third eye, then what happens is you begin to have a direct connection with the higher visions, with the higher consciousness. And so it's going to empower you. And also to help this in your meditation and working on enhancing your pineal gland is to have a mantra. I know people have a lot of trouble meditating, being quiet. So it helps to have a mantra, that is a set of words that you can repeat over and over and over again in your head. Things like peace be still, or God and I are one, or wherever I am, God is, or peace fills me, peace surrounds me, peace protects me, or thank you angels, thank you angels. Basically, the effect you're going in for here is sort of a prayer, or and that prayer is in the form of a meditation that is bringing you into a state of peace. That's what the goal is, to bring you into a state of peace. Peace is where your higher self is empowered. Peace is where your aura begins to generate a field around you that will attract positive experience. Peace. And that peace can come with the knowledge that you're not alone. Peace comes with the knowledge that there are beings around you who want to help you, who want to protect you, who want to work for your benefit. So if you can take yourself into that space of peace every morning before you step out into the world. You're going to begin to create around you a cloak of love, of peace, and protection that will help you bring positive experiences into your life. Positive experiences. Build up the habit. I'm not saying spend a lot of time meditating, but think about this, before you go out. Think about and look up into your inner vision, your inner screen, and think about your pineal gland is being activated. And being activated is turning on your third eye. And in turning on your third eye, it is empowering you spiritually. It is empowering your higher consciousness. It is bringing you into greater contact with the hidden fields, the hidden forces around you. And commit yourself to that. If you commit yourself to acknowledging the loving forces around you on a daily basis, and then what's going to happen is, remember the words I shared with you yesterday from Johann von Goethe, who had that statement about commitment. He said, "Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. But concerning all acts of initiative, creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance which no man could have dreamt would have come his way." So commit to doing something every day to enhance your connectedness to the hidden forces around you. Do something every day to bring you into a state of peace. Awaken your pineal gland. Look up into your inner mental screen and awaken your pineal gland, your third eye, so that you can begin to experience its power, because its power will connect you to the higher forces. And say those words that will protect you and build up your confidence and your love. For those of you who want to, another one who want to invoke the power of infinite intelligence, also known as God, into your daily life, you can try repeating the 91st Psalm from the Bible. That is, in the morning before you step out the door, read this psalm. Read it out loud. Now there's some yous in there and some hymns, but to make it more relevant to you, replace the word you with I or my wherever it's appropriate, and it'll become much easier to breathe it into your heart and wrap it into your consciousness. Make it yours. And when the verse refers to him, referring to the person who is being helped, then change it to fit your gender. If you're a woman, then change it to her. But remember, this is a tool that for you to connect more strongly with the unseen forces around you. So make it your own. I know it was written hundreds of years ago. That gives you permission to make changes, to make the changes so that it fits you. I mean, the essence of it is still there. The power of it is still there. But make it so that it fits you. Make it so that you can feel that they're talking about you. And then when you read it aloud before going out the door, then it is much more powerful for you. Okay, here it is with those changes made. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely He will save me from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover me with His feathers, and under His wings I will find refuge. His faithfulness will be my shield and rampart. I will not fear the terror of night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that stalks in the darkness, nor the plague that destroys at midday. 1,000 may fall at my side, 10,000 at my right hand, but it will not come near me. I will only observe with my eyes and see the punishment of the wicked. And if I say, the Lord is my refuge, and I make the Most High my dwelling, no harm will overtake me, no disaster will come near my tent. For He will command His angels concerning me to guard me in all my ways, and they will lift me up in their hands, so that I will not strike my foot against a stone. I will tread on the lion and the cobra. I will trample the great lion and the serpent, because He loves me, says the Lord. I will rescue him or her. I will protect him or her, for he acknowledges my name. He will call on me, and I will answer him, and I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. So try that. Try that every day. Before you step out the door, read that with the changes to make it more personal. But read that with its personal changes. Read that every day before you step out the door. And watch your life begin to change. Watch your life begin to change for the better. Let's close with prayer. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing all of us together in this life so that we may become spiritual warriors and joining the work we have come here to do. Thank you, Infinite Intelligence, for bringing us into this space of awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves and our relationship to life and infinite intelligence. Thank you for showing us who we really are. We open our minds and hearts to the truth of our being. We are the children of God. We are individualized expressions of infinite intelligence. And because we are part of the greater whole, we're beginning to understand our value to the continuity of life on this planet. As we become channels of your power, infinite intelligence, we can feel your presence within ourselves and within our lives more and more. We know that as we feel your presence within our lives, we will rise, because we are no longer cut off from you by being immersed in the darkness of fear, anger, and the pain of unforgiveness. So we are now restoring our connection through the grace of forgiveness, knowing that as we learn to forgive ourselves for the pain that we have caused to ourselves, and as we learn to forgive those who have inflicted pain upon us, our connections will grow stronger, and our lives will grow happier and healthier and more prosperous. And for this we are truly grateful. As above, so below. As within, so without. And so it is. Amen. Thank you for watching. Really appreciate your presence here today. If you haven't already done so, please click on the thumbs up button. Please choose to subscribe. And remember that I'd love to hear from you, your questions, thoughts, and suggestions. So I look forward to seeing you again soon. In the meantime, remember, my name is Reverend Andrew Bozeman, and this is on The Wings of Your Mind.